So sometimes we are a little bit, frustrating, I should say, to some extent, that these free trade agreements benefits should be taken advantage of fully by the United States and Korea first. But the current situations is not like this. At least I think that we should accelerate our speed so that these good agreements and mutually beneficial job-creating agreements can be really be put into effect by U.S. and Korean governments and the Congress and National Assembly.
Mr. Ambassador, would you comment on the current economic and diplomatic relations between your country and China and where you see it going in the near term?
China is one of the largest investment recipients of Korean investment, and China is the largest trading partner with Korea. It's amazing that it is only 18 years of establishments of normal diplomatic relations. We are near, and also they are in the same region, so that and we have quite a complementarity in our economic structure. Korea is exporting machineries and materials, so that economic relations will continue, but still, for Korea's point of view, we need U.S. presence in Northeast Asia because there will be always some possibility for some kind of hegemonic situations in Northeast Asia, and U.S. is playing a very good, will play a good mediating roles there. And with the U.S. presence there, strong presence there, most of the Asian countries will feel much more comfortable than without the U.S. presence. So, in conclusion, our relations with China, especially economic relations, will continue and will be strengthened. In the politics and other diplomatic relations, we want stronger China who will play the internationally responsible role of the of the members of the international community. But as we increase our relationship with China, the stronger presence of the U.S. in the Northeast Asia and in Asia is very, very critical, and we will continue to persuade our U.S. partners that on that importance of U.S. presence there and U.S. and Korea alliance relationship in that region.
Mr. Ambassador, for those Northeast Ohio businesses or companies who may have overlooked Korea or the market potential, what advice would you give them in terms of how to start or how to begin looking at that market and working to develop it?
First of all, I think there will be many areas for the cooperations between state of Ohio and Korea. You have a very strong manufacturing backing, and in the modern world, Ohio is strong in manufacturing and Korea is strong in manufacturing, but there are a lot of intra-manufacturing cooperation, so-called intra-industrial cooperations between the two. For example, even in automobiles, it's very simple. Korea produces small cars and are exporting small cars. Of course, we are producing here in Georgia and Alabama, but mainly we are producing small cars and exporting small cars, while big three of the United States are producing big cars and exporting big cars. There's a complete complementarity between the two. In the U.S., total market share, share of the sales of big three are 80% for big cars, 20% for small cars. Our export into the United States, out of total exports, 80% are small cars and 20% are big cars. So there are a lot of complementarity and rooms for cooperations. So I think that we should not see this kind of a presence of our manufacturing sector as a kind of a competing one. It's really a very much cooperative one. That's why there are a lot of cooperations in investment relations. In that sense, as Korea is now moving toward overseas investments in the process of globalization of its economy, I think Ohio, which has a lot of experience in manufacturing sector, can have much more rooms for cooperations with Korea. So I think the exchange of missions, trade missions and investment missions between Ohio and Korea will be very helpful. And some of our, here we have the Dr. Chung of International Trading Associations of Korea. They are making a lot of trade missions annually into overseas market. So certainly Ohio should be chosen as one place for that kind of visit. And your Ohio delegations, I hope, will visit Korea as often as possible. That kind of interactions will certainly greatly improve the potentials of our corporations.
Ambassador Han, I have a question for you. This last Friday, we had as our speaker Richard Trumka, who is the president of the AFL-CIO nationally, and he bemoaned the thought of, quote, shipping jobs overseas. It is some political rhetoric we hear quite often in Ohio. And I was wondering what efforts the automotive industry and labor unions in particular have brought to bear against the Chorus FTA.